Charlamagne, what's up? Madam Vice President.
How you doing
today? So yesterday I read that there is a new opportunity agenda, a plan for black men which includes a proposal of forgivable loans up to $20,000 for 1 million black entrepreneurs. What would you say to the people that would consider the timing of this proposal as political timing? And how would you speak to the sentiment that support for black men is only sought out during election cycles and feels that building trust requires consistent engagement and genuine investment into the community outside of election periods and political benefits for politicians, and may view that some people in the Democrat Party use black Americans to play identity politics?
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Charlamagne, the simp. Okay, this guy is at it again because he's hosting a town hall presumably meant to assist Kamala Harris with getting elected. Now, of course, the majority of people who watch Charlamagne are going to be black. Now, his audience, though, has kind of been turning on him. So a lot of people either thought he was MAGA if he criticized Joe Biden like even the slightest bit. And some people think that he's, of course, a Kamala Harris shill and simp, which absolutely I think that he is, because he supported her the entire time, no matter what she has done or said, even though Trump came out with an advertisement specifically showing Charlamagne criticizing her on the whole transgender thing with the migrants from prison and all that stuff.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
That aside, he's hosting this town hall where he's going to ask her mostly softball questions, but he does press her on the whole Obama coming out like, hey, black men, I got a problem with y'all not supporting Kamala. Like, he does ask her about that. And I'm curious to see her response because I have not seen it. I just know that obviously he asked about it, and I'm sure that he's going to ask about a lot of other interesting things here. We'll see what type of stupid behind word salad answers that she gives about her middle-class family and so forth. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, apparently I'm 40 seconds late. You're right.
Well, you are black. So okay. Now,
wow.
Now, one thing they've been saying, a lot of your press hits get criticized. Folks say you come off as very scripted. They say you like to stick to your talking points. And some media says you have...
That would be called disciplined.
Ooh, okay. Speak to that.
But go on.
No, I was going to say some people say you have an inability to fearlessly say who you are and what you believe. I know that's not true. But what do you say to that criticism? And
How the hell do you know that, Charlamagne? I'm curious. How do you know that?
But what do you say to people who say...
In the spirit of obviously comedy and not belittling people as my opponent would do.
But what do you say to people who say you stay on the talking points?
I would say you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I love having conversations, which is why I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon. And the reality is that there are certain things that must be repeated to ensure that I have everyone know what I stand for and the issues that I think are at stake.
It's because she can't talk about nothing else. Like, this lady's not getting it. She's not getting it. There's a reason why she dropped out of the primary. She's not getting it. She doesn't have it, and she never will.
This is a margin of error race. It's tight. I'm going to win. But it's tight.
You
and
wish.
What is at stake? And send during the height of COVID in the pandemic, COVID tests that nobody could get to the president of Russia for his personal use when black people were dying every day by the hundreds during that time.
I find it just silly that Kamala wants to bring up some rumor. So some guy wrote in a book, some loser wrote in a book that Trump sent Putin COVID tests. Now, this is obviously unprovable, right? Like, nobody can prove whether this did or did not happen. Vladimir Putin is one of the most powerful men in the world. Okay, he's the president of his nation, of Russia. And we got to presume that he couldn't gain his own access to COVID tests. We're not talking about vaccines. We're talking about tests. Stupid point, but let's keep going.
Yeah, I feel like that one has gone over people's heads.
And let's not forget who endorsed Kamala Harris.
But if we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he is not participating in the election campaign, and he recommended to all his allies to support Ms. Harris. So that is what we are going to do. So it was, well, he said that we should, that is why we should also do that. Well, her laugh, she's laughing, her laugh is so fascinating. It means that everything is good.
Question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, or whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens' everyday needs were being met. So what do you say to that?
We can do it all, and we do. So, first of all, I maintain very strongly.
That's a terrible answer. She's basically saying, well, we know your needs ain't being met, but F you. This is stupid. I'm going to see what else she said, but that was a terrible answer.
We should never pull ourselves away from our responsibility as a world leader. And that is in the best interest of our national security and each one of us as Americans and our standing in the world. That being said, we also have an obligation to American citizens, obviously, and people who are here to meet their everyday needs and challenges, which is why, for example, we have done the work in the last 4 years of bringing down the cost of prescription medication, whether it be $35.
The problem with all of this nonsense, she's going to keep repeating the same stuff. The problem with all of this is saying we could do it all. No, we can't. Cardi B already talked about this.
Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about, like, yeah, we could fund 2 wars. We could fund 2 wars. Talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation. No, we're not. We're going through some right now. Like, say it. Say it. We're really going through, we really are right now. Y'all need to sit the down with these people and find agreement. No, we cannot fund these wars. We can't.
Herself, not that anybody cares what she says, but it's funny to listen to her. But even people dumb as Cardi know that you can't just pull money out of your ass. That's what causes inflation in the first place. Spending a bunch of trillions of dollars here, sending billions of dollars overseas. It creates more inflation. They print the money. We can't do it all. Kamala is lying. The economics major has an undergrad degree in economics, doesn't know effing economics, or doesn't care about the bad economics that her party and her specifically are continuing to perpetuate. She's telling you right now, well, hey, look, I know your needs ain't being met, but we don't give a damn.
You know, you said we can do it all, but can we? Because, you know, Tupac famously said, you know, we got money for war, but can't feed the poor, right? And I saw President Obama say last week that, you know, you really shouldn't expect, you know, a president to rid the world of all of its problems. And so is it fair to tell people, hey, we can do it all? Because that's when people get disappointed, when things don't happen.
But I think President Obama is absolutely correct, but it doesn't mean we can't do anything.
That's right.
We should never sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to vote because everything hasn't been solved. I share a desire that everything should be solved, by the way. Mm-hmm. I think it is what we should all want.
It's not that everything hasn't been solved, it's that nothing has been solved. Like, Kamala Harris can talk about child tax credits and $25,000 for home ownership all she wants, but if people can't afford groceries and rent, and people still can't afford those houses because, again, she's talking about all these tax credits and stuff, that doesn't make you magically be able to afford to get approval for a loan to begin with. right? So if she can't really solve the problems, if she's making a bunch of phony promises and you got years, like decades, like longer than Kamala's even been alive worth of phony Democrats promising things and not delivering, then I think that speaks to the Democrats being incompetent.
The other, Donald Trump, is about taking us backward.
The other is about fascism. Why can't we just say it?
Yes, we can say that.
Yeah. Reverend Solomon Kinlock Jr., I want you to meet him. He is the senior pastor of Triumph.
What type of interview is it where you're talking about, oh, we're going to ask the tough questions, but I mean, you're already like a known Kamala supporter? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a waste of time. And then when she's failing miserably, then you just want to throw in words like fascism as if that's going to help you win or help Kamala win. I don't think that is working at all, if you couldn't tell by these disastrous poll numbers. And a lot of the votes are starting to come in. It's not looking good.
Now, have you seen the clip, Madam Vice President, from the Griot? It's a clip that's kind of out of context, and it says that you won't do anything specifically for black people. Have you seen that? Have you?
I have not seen that.
Well,
so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
It's a clip that has you saying that you're not going to do anything specifically for black people.
Well, that's just not true. And listen again. You said it at the beginning of this.
Right before the election. Now it's not true. See, when you wasn't worried about black people not voting for you, then it was true. But now it's not true. Right before the election. So now you want to just tell people, of course I'm going to do something for black people. Of course, just vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. I promise. The answer is no, Kamala. We're not falling for it.
This visit, Charlamagne, one of the biggest challenges that I face is mis and disinformation. Mm-hmm. And it's purposeful. They are trying to scare people away.
Okay, Ms. Project 2025, let's keep going.
Because they know they otherwise have nothing to run on. Ask Donald Trump what his plan is for black America. Ask him. I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, it's to deport all the damn illegal immigrants that are taking all the jobs away from the black community. It's to get those people out of black communities, because that's the primary place where all these freaking encampments and tent cities and stuff are built, is in black communities. That's Donald Trump's plan, is to get rid of sanctuary cities that allow these people to basically illegally come in, but go to a city where the federal law is not going to be enforced. Donald Trump wants to enforce the federal laws so that the black community and their resources aren't taken up by people who did not earn their place in America.
Look at Project 2025.
Here we go.
Project 2025 tells you the plan includes making police departments have stop and frisk policies. The plan includes making it more difficult for workers to receive overtime pay. The plan includes ending the ability of Medicare.
Donald Trump literally said that there's not going to be any tax on overtime. But instead, she wants to talk about Project 2025. Let's move on.
You know what he says he'll do? Terminate the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
Let me remind folks. You know what's in the Constitution of the United States? The Fourth Amendment.
Like, I already know what they're talking about. Like, find a clip of Donald Trump saying, we will terminate the Constitution. It never happened, guys. They're talking about a Twitter post where these people intentionally took it out of context. This is why Kamala Harris is losing, because everything she says is a lie. If she told the truth, even if some of the truth was inconvenient, she wouldn't be seen as just a liar and a fraud. But since she's trying to be so fraudulent and people keep cashing her all the time between channels like mine and so many others, all over TikTok, X, YouTube, it's like, chick, you're busted. The jig is up.
Hi, my name is Joshua Fisher, age 31 years old, African-American male from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'd like to ask Madam Vice President what laws does she have planned to make sure that there's a stop to police brutality and murders that have been going on viciously?
So again, the work that I have done through my career, and then most recently even when I was in the United States Senate to help write the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Mm-hmm. Cory Booker and I work very closely on that.
Could you tell people why that didn't pass too? Give folks a quick civics lesson.
We couldn't get the votes in Congress. Mm-hmm. There's a clip somewhere of me fighting with a Republican senator We
So Kamala
passed an
Harris,
exec.
Kamala Harris is lying about this again. I actually have it up on the screen here. So you can see that it says latest action. Senate, it was received by the Senate. They didn't do anything else. They never voted on it. So it passed in the House, but the Senate never voted on it. So Republicans didn't block this from passing. What they did is they introduced it in the Senate, and they never brought it up for a vote, because I actually think it probably would have got passed. Instead, they want to use it for politics to trick black people into thinking that Republicans blocked the bill. Never happened.
What's your stance on reparations? We all know that America became great, off the backs of free black labor. How progressive are you on making it a priority and righting America's wrongs? It's understood that you are running for president for all people of America. Mm-hmm. Asking for specifics for black communities doesn't mean don't do for others, but black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century, with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Zeke.
I appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you for your work.
Like, yeah, you need to. We need to just start clapping just for that question.
So, to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And I've been very clear about that.
And guys, like, anytime you hear somebody say something about studying reparations, it's meaningless. They're going to literally put money into reviewing who could possibly be a recipient of reparations. They've been doing this crap for decades already. They already study reparations. This isn't new. And they do it on a federal and statewide level across all these different states. And they never actually give any reparations for anything, at least not to black people. They give them to like other people, like Jewish people, but they don't give them to black people. So this is a big waste of time. Either they're handing out checks or they're not. And we already know that they're not going to do it.
Look, I grew up in the middle class. My mother, worked hard, raised me and my sister, and by the time...
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Hi, I'm Bobby from Georgia, and I have a question for Kamala Harris. Could you please respond to Trump's claim that he's going to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to round up immigrants if he wins the election? This law was last used to put Asian Americans in internment camps during World War II, and I have a sneaking suspicion that if Trump wins, he's going to use this law to put anyone that doesn't look white in camps, and I'm scared.
Stop being such a pussy!
Yeah, so you've hit on a...
This is how deranged... This is how deranged... The sad thing is, it sounded like a white person on the phone. But like, this is how crazy these people are. Basically, Trump is going to take every person who's not white and just throw them in a camp. Why do you believe that? Trump was president already. So why do you believe this? This doesn't make any sense.
What would you say to the people that would consider the timing of this proposal as political timing? And how would you speak to the sentiment that support for black men is only sought out during election cycles, and feels that building trust requires consistent engagement and genuine investment into the community outside of election periods and political benefits for politicians, and may view that some people in the Democrat Party use black Americans to play identity politics?
I don't think she was ready for that one.
So first of all, thank you for your question and for being here. I've been in this race about 70 days. You can look at all my work before those 70 days to know that what I'm talking about right now is not new and is not for the sake of winning this election.
That $20,000 loans specific for black men, forgivable loans, yeah, that is new. where the hell did that come? That's straight up, well, we need to win this election, so let's just throw this out there. They're literally throwing everything at the wall right now to try to desperately win this election, and people aren't falling for it.
President Obama was out there last week waving his finger at black men. When are Liz Cheney and Hillary Clinton going to wave their finger at white women? When are Bill Clinton and Joe Biden going to wave their finger at white men? Because 52% of white women voted for Trump in 2016. 55% voted for Trump in 2020. They all voted against their own interests. When the finger waving going to start at them?
Well, thank you for highlighting that. I do have the support of over 200 Republicans who worked for various administrations,
What a stupid
including
answer.
everyone going back to Ronald Reagan, to the Bushes, to John McCain and Mitt Romney, and including Liz Cheney, and I'm very proud to have her support. And I believe that many of them who may have voted for Trump before are supporting me because they know the stakes are so high.
Yeah, so it's hundreds of millions of people in America, okay, that are eligible voters, and you talking about 200 Republicans supporting you. You know how many people? I've literally seen well over 200 Democrats defect and go to the Republican Party and vote Republican, myself included. I do consider myself independent, but I voted. I already voted. I voted for every Republican that was on the damn paper. Every Republican on the ballot, I voted for. There's a reason why they only wag their finger at the black people, because they feel like they own the black people. They feel like black men are slaves, okay? Like a lot of the black women, unfortunately, majority of them, based off of the math, the polling, are still acting like little loyal slaves for the Democrat Party. I wish black women were just as loyal to black men as they are to the Democrat Party. Then we'd have way fewer single mothers, but I mean, hey, I'm just saying. I already know this video is probably going to end up pretty long already. This is painful to watch, but guys, even all this disinformation in this video, all this falsehoods, it's not enough, because look, I'm on their channel and people are eating them up in the comments. Look, who else immediately went to the comment section? Okay, here after the Candace Owens investigations about Kamala Harris lying about being black, Charlamagne, they say everything you say is scripted. Kamala's answer, you're welcome. How is legalizing weed a betterment for the black community? I mean, it's not really. The comment section gives me hope for this country. Yeah, a lot of people are bagging on Kamala. She's a joke. Charlamagne, why did Obama single out black men? Kamala Harris, I have support of 200 Republicans. Same thing I said, including Cheney and Romney. Like, really? Like, that sounds so stupid. I'm trying to determine who is more out of touch, Charlamagne or Kamala. Interviewer, what is your plan to fix the economy? In West Philadelphia, born and raised on a playground is where I spend most of my days. Like, these people are just completely roasting her. She penalized parents with fines and jail time for truancy when the black sick kids with sickle cell couldn't go to school. Okay, yeah, she put this lady in jail. I already did a video about that, Sheree Peoples. Why don't y'all fact check her? Because they want her to win. They are liars and shills. That's just not true. As if you haven't seen the clip with your own eyes, they really think you're dumb. They're talking about the clip where she said that she's not going to do anything specific for black people. So as you can see, she's getting destroyed here. This is not helping, guys. She was hiding for so long, and then when she comes out, she lies and is disingenuous the entire time. Guys, this isn't enough to save the cackler. Okay, like, she's cooked. It's over. Pack it in. Get ready for the rise of a dictator, okay? Because Donald Trump, yeah, he's going to be rounding up some people, all right? He's going to be rounding up a bunch of illegals. He's going to be rounding up a bunch of these Democrat politicians and kicking their ass the hell up out of Congress and the hell up out of the White House, especially Joe Biden and the cackler in chief, the liar and fraudster, the wannabe black lady, the cosplaying black lady, Kamala Harris. She's cooked. And I can't wait to see it. We're only a couple more weeks away. It's a countdown to doomsday for the Democrats. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
What a lot of bullshit.